Hey, thanks for joining us, kids. It's Erica from Atlas MedStaff, and I'm here with the Atlas mailbag to read some letters and postcards from viewers like you. So our first piece of mail is a postcard from our traveler, Nick, who is a CT tech. If you don't know, a CT tech does take pictures of people's organs, which is kind of cool. I'm sure you've learned all about organs at some point in your science classes.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicholas Kaiser. I am a travel CT tech, currently located in Phoenix, Arizona at the Children's Hospital. And I've been a CT tech for just shy of 3 years, been traveling for 2 of those 3, so I was just talking with my recruiter Berkeley, who is absolutely phenomenal. I told her that I was going to Jamaica, and she was like, well, we do have this thing called the Atlas Adventure, and she thought it would be a great idea to do it while I was in Jamaica. So she kind of worked with me, and she's actually been to Jamaica, so she had some great recommendations on what to do. And we went to like an all-inclusive resort, which was a blast. And this Atlas Adventure was our one day of like getting off of the resort and actually seeing what Jamaica looks like. I think it's a super cool thing that this Atlas does. I mean, I was telling other travelers about it and they're like, what? That's so cool. They were a little bit jealous, so.
Our second piece of mail here today. This is a letter from Bailey, who is an ER travel nurse, and it looks like she is sending a thank you because she had a great time on her Atlas adventure. She went swimming with pigs and turtles on a tropical island. Thanks, Bailey. Oh, this one is from our traveler, Davita. She is a labor and delivery nurse. She wants to give a shout out to her recruiter, Jeff, and let's see what she has to say.
Jeff held my hand throughout the whole process. I was very afraid. I've been in my home hospital for about 7 years, been doing nursing for about 15 years. I have 3 kids, so I was very afraid of traveling and, having that unpredictable schedule. But I told Jeff all my concerns, and he was great. He walked me through everything, so he's got me till the end.
All right, this letter is from Alaina D. from Chandler, Arizona. I used to live in Chandler, Alaina. Dear Atlas MedStaff, my name is Alaina and I am a student at Kyrene Traditional Academy in the Kyrene School District. The purpose of writing this letter is to learn more about travel nursing firsthand. I'm interested in this because in school we've been researching different careers and I was extremely interested in this one. Alaina, it is your lucky day because I have my friend, travel nurse Brad. Actually, he was a travel nurse, but now he is a recruiter here with me at Atlas, and he's gonna help answer some of the questions that you had. Come on in, Brad, come join me. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Erica.
All right, so a little background is Brad and I are currently recruiters here at Atlas. But before we were recruiters, we had other jobs. So I actually was a teacher. I have taught preschool through 7th grade. And Brad used to be a traveler here with us at Atlas.
Yep.
And I think that Brad actually did travel to Phoenix.
Oh yeah, very familiar with the area. Actually went there a couple of times. Spent 9 months there the first time. Loved it so much, went back a second time. So in all honesty, I consider Phoenix my second home.
We both live in Omaha, Nebraska, which is where our headquarters for Atlas are located. But we staff travelers all across the country. And it looks like you had some questions, and I thought that Brad could help me answer them for you, just from his perspective of being a traveler and also from our recruiting experience. So thanks so much for sending your letter. All right, Brad, our first question is, what is the difference between a nurse and a travel nurse?
Sure. So a traditional nurse, usually you work at a hospital, you work so many hours and you get paid by the amount of hours you work. When you become a travel nurse, you do the same thing, but you're only working at one place, typically 13 weeks at a time. So you'll change. The difference between your regular job and the travel nurse industry is that when you're at your regular job, there is no end date. And with travel nursing, you know when your end date is and you never know where you're gonna go next. The travelers, their purpose is to fill in with no holes or no issues and just be able to roll into any hospital and adapt. And like you said, no one can tell the difference.
So can you tell me the process of becoming a nurse? And I know it's different whether you go a traditional route versus a non-traditional route. So I don't know, maybe how does that work?
So becoming a nurse, there's 2 different degrees that usually people have. I mean, you can get advanced degrees too, but in order to become an RN, you need a 2-year associate's degree. And you can also get your BSN, which is a 4-year degree, bachelor's, that you can get at almost anywhere across the country nowadays. If that's something you guys might be interested in, I would recommend taking some courses while you're young in anatomy and physiology, chemistry, things of that nature to see if that's something that interests you. Well, after you graduate high school, you can apply for the program and they will look at your qualifications, obviously how well you did in school, and decide if you can get in. And once you do get accepted, then it's a process of you go through the 2-year program or 4-year, whichever you're in. And if you graduate with high enough grades, you will get your associate's degree, bachelor's degree. And then after that, it's not like you can just go into the workforce. You have to pass what's called an NCLEX exam. It's a test that all us nurses have to take all across the country. And so if you get a high enough score on that, then you're a nurse, then you go find a job. So there's obviously lots of tiers, but I mean, not really any different than any other career choice you get into. See when you get older, maybe once you reach high school, see if you can shadow somewhere. Because a lot of times kids don't know what they're getting into when they're getting into it, especially right after high school.
This kind of leads in, this is the perfect question, is how long do you have to be a nurse before you can become a travel nurse?
Sure, and that obviously, as you know, varies from place to place. For me, I was a nurse for 18 months. That's a little on the low end compared to normal. I would say typically I would recommend 2 years.
And it probably depends on your specialty too, right?
That's
Which
true.
is something I learned about when we came in for our recruiting classes. There are so many specialties in nursing. And so Brad used to work in the ER. That maybe has a little bit different requirements for traveling than a cath lab nurse or 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 med surg or whatever your specific specialty is.
100%.
So what do you think are the benefits of being a traveler? That was a question that Alaina had.
So I would say the benefits of travel nursing is the ability to see the country while still getting paid for it. And you know, as I was saying earlier, the average length is 13 weeks. So you only have to go somewhere if it's not your favorite. You'd be like, I tried it. And then you can check it off the list and I won't come back here again, or maybe I loved it and I'll come back every year, you know? So it doubles as you get to see the world while still working like you would hours-wise. And the people is the number one thing. The relationships you build over time, the people you meet across the country, it's life-changing. That's why I highly recommend it to anyone interested.
What did you think one of the biggest challenges might be in travel nursing?
Adaptability, obviously. Changing all the time. Dealing with stress. You know, those first 2 weeks on your assignment where you don't really know where anything is.
I don't know if any of you kids have ever switched schools, but I feel like that's kind of the same thing, right? Is the first couple weeks, you have no idea who you're going to eat lunch with. I don't know. As a teacher, that was always my biggest thing when I'd switch schools. I'm like, who am I going to eat lunch with on the first day? It feels really scary at first. Change can feel scary, but that's where opportunities are. So just really challenge yourself in your opportunities as a kid.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better.
Okay, so Alaina asks, if my patients travel, do I travel with them? And I think the difference here is I could understand why you might think that you're traveling with patients, but in this case, travelers travel from one hospital or facility to another. So they don't stay with a patient per se.
Yep, they typically stay where they're at. And we come in, like I said, fill the holes where necessary. We're here to help, you know?
So how do you think that Atlas might be different than other agencies? Obviously, there are a lot of agencies around.
Oh, yeah.
So you chose Atlas. Why did you choose Atlas?
Number one, I'll have to give a lot of credit to my recruiter, Eric Staff. He's still here, still the best, you know? And the way he treated me. You know, I also had a recruiter before that, Joe. I don't want to forget you either. He was awesome. Again, never left either one of them. But those guys just made me always feel at home. I didn't even search anywhere else. I knew where home was, and I knew I could always rely on them to get stuff done when I needed it.
You might have just seen some videos of some other travelers and their Atlas adventure. That would be something that we do that's different, is you get to experience things with us.
100%, 100%. They did it for me, and it's my favorite thing to do it for the nurses when it's my turn. So
Same.
I love it.
Okay, so we have mentioned this a couple of times, but Brad and I are travel nurse recruiters, and you might have no idea what that even is. I know up until several years ago, I didn't know it was a job. I was teaching and just, you know, ready to retire from teaching and find a second career, and happened upon this opportunity. So what is being a recruiter? What's that like?
It's a roller coaster ride, you know? You have to be able to roll with the punches, and every day is a different day, but it's so fulfilling when you get to search for jobs and you find the perfect location for that nurse, and they go there and they have the time of your life. They send you videos of their Atlas adventure. Like, I don't know what's better than that, you know?
We're really that friend on your first day, right? So we were talking about you show up and you don't know who to sit with. You don't know any of the answers to your questions. Well, we're a phone call away to help all of our travelers fit in. Okay, so any last bit of advice for someone like Alaina who may be interested in being a travel healthcare professional?
I think the same advice that I give to anyone that's somewhat interested in that is talk to anyone that's done it. Reach out exactly like you did to us and see what do I need to know about this. And hopefully this video helps with a lot of these questions, but get all the information you possibly can.
And put my little teacher Erica hat on. I think the thing at your age that you maybe don't realize completely is whatever decision you make for your career right off the bat, it doesn't have to be the forever decision for the next 50 plus years, right? Like it could open a door and then you find another path and then another path. So just don't worry about making the wrong decision.
I 100% agree.
Well,
totally.
Thanks so much for visiting with me today.
I had a blast.
Thanks, Alaina, so much for sending the letter. This is one of my favorite pieces of content that we've been able to record.
100%.
I get to revisit my teacher roots a little bit. And to thank you, we also are going to send you this t-shirt, which is one of the softest. I don't know.
I can just see it from here. Oh, yeah.
This is one of my favorites. So thanks so much for letting us be a part of your school day. I hope you have an awesome end to your year, and we hope to hear from other people too. Bye.
Bye, guys.